See, it's all a con game, and when people lose confidence in the dollar, in the monetary system, in the fiat monetary system, then they go to gold as they have for thousands of years. There is a growing recognition among mainstream people, not just gold bugs like me, but mainstream people, that whatever they're doing isn't working. So we've seen a transfer of wealth to gold in most currencies other than dollars. We've seen the gold price rise very dramatically around the world over the last 2 years. It hasn't declined like it did in the US dollars from 2011. From 1900, I think gold hit in US dollars. But it's actually risen very dramatically in most other currencies because the dollar has been the strongest currency. I think this is a recognition that, and probably a growing concern on the part of mainstream Wall Street people, that they have to look somewhere else other than the dollar and central banks for their to preserve their wealth. And so I think that's happening. I think they're going into gold. And we have more gold, more debt, I should say, than we've ever had in the history of, well, at least in modern history, much more than the 1930s during that depression. And the reason is because the whole world has gone off the gold standard. So money could be created out of nothing without limit. And central bankers have done that. And now the system is breaking down. So that's why I think since the excess of debt this time is much greater than it's ever been before, I believe that the chances of this being the most dramatic decline in economic activity that would increase the gold price more than ever before. I think people need to be cautious about their investments in general. Nothing goes straight up, so we could see a pullback here in the gold price, but I think we've probably broken through, and I think the odds favor the next leg up in the bull market. Remember, this bull market, what I call a secular bull market, started at around $200 and some dollars, $250 in 2002, thereabouts. And it got up to 1900. It's pulled back to 1100, a little below that. Now I think the next leg up will take us far beyond the 1900 level over the next 2 years, 3 years perhaps. I know a technical analyst that I have on my radio show frequently, Michael Oliver, believes that the next real resistance point will be around $1,450. So what I've looked for then is, the best gold mining projects that I can find. And my newsletter, Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks, covers a number of gold mining companies. But the one that I've picked as my personal top pick is Novo Resources. Novo Resources is in search for the next Witwatersrand gold deposit. For people who may not be familiar, the Witwatersrand reefs of South Africa produce something like 40 or 50% of all the gold ever produced in the history of mankind. So Dr. Quinton Henning, who used to work for Newmont, and Newmont was looking for the next Witwatersrand, they had Dr. Henning working to try to find the next Witwatersrand deposit. So his geological theories took him to northwestern Australia, and lo and behold, they're finding all of the earmarks of another Witwatersrand deposit. Now that's not saying that tomorrow they're going to be mining all that gold, but he is going to start out small on the oxides, the low-cost oxides, produce some cash flow, and then do some exploration to look for the really big ounces of gold that are probably there, but time will tell. You always have to put the drill bit down to prove that it's there. So ultimately, the proof is in the pudding. If they find the gold and the economics on they're planning to do some test mining and some early production from the oxides on surface. If all of that works out well, then I think Novo Resources will be a stock that will do extremely well, especially if the bull market continues as I expect it to.
Jay, where can our viewers go to find out more information?
The best place for people to go to is Jay Taylor Media, that's Jay, taylormedia.com, and also Voice America. It's a weekly radio show that I do there, and I have a lot of very interesting guests like Doug Casey and Ron Paul and Eric Sprott and Jim Rogers and a lot of very interesting high-profile people.
Jay, thanks again for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.